Thank you very much for joining me. Today is Thursday, June 6, 2025. I want to give a shout out. Thank you very much for the donations that some of you have sent into my PayPal account or bought me cups of coffee. That was very generous of you. Thank you so much. You can also join me on Patreon. You can look at my articles for free there or help support my work there by donating as little as $1 a month. YouTube has been unsubscribing people for a long time, and recently many of you have found me once again. Thank you. I'm glad you're back. I do post every day, 7 days a week. If you're not getting notifications of videos that I put out, you might bookmark my main webpage and it'll show you my recent videos. Unlike a lot of YouTubers, I don't have any paid affiliates that I belong to. Last night I got up in the middle of the night. I noticed the sky was glowing. We only have, a quarter of the moon, so that's not why it was lit up. And there's been things in the night sky that I've seen that I did not realize were out of the ordinary. I bet probably all of you, if you've gone out at night, have seen this too. What they call night shining clouds or noctilucent clouds. They are rare. High altitude clouds that glow with a blue silvery hue at dusk or dawn when the sun shines on them from below the horizon. These ice clouds typically occur near the north and south poles, but are increasingly being reported at mid and low latitudes. Many of us know that we are to watch for signs in heaven and on earth. I don't care if you believe the Bible, what's in the Bible, but I think this is one of the signs that is spoken of. These blue glowing clouds require water vapor, dust, and relatively cold temperatures, below 120 Celsius, to form. They were first discovered in 1885, 2 years after the Krakatoa eruption, which led to speculation about a volcanic connection. The best part, you can see them now. If you're between 45 and 80 degrees north latitude, for example, in the northern U.S., Canada, and Europe, keep your eyes on the twilight sky. Look west about 30 to 60 minutes after sunset or east before sunrise. Noctilucent clouds form when warm, moisture-rich air rises into the mesosphere, the cold upper layer of our atmosphere, during the summer months, and there's the cosmic twist. Some of the cloud's particles come from micrometeors that burn up in our atmosphere daily, while others originate from volcanic eruptions or even pollution. All of these particles are swept high into the sky, forming the basis for Earth's most ethereal clouds. Have you ever seen noctilucent clouds? Maybe you have and you didn't even realize it. Recently, they've been seen in Scotland and above Colorado. NLCs are Earth's highest clouds, floating at the edge of space, about 83 kilometers or 51 miles above the ground. They form when summertime wisp of water vapor rises to the mesosphere, allowing water to crystallize around specks of meteor smoke. The season for bright naked eye NLCs typically stretches from June through August. The mesosphere is difficult to study, so less is known about this layer of the atmosphere than other layers. Weather balloons and aircraft cannot fly high enough to reach the mesosphere. Satellites orbit above the mesosphere and cannot directly measure the trace of this layer. Scientists use instruments on sounding rockets to sample the mesosphere directly, but such flights are brief and infrequent. Since it is difficult to take measurements of the mesosphere, using direct instruments about the mesosphere is still mysterious. No confirmed record of their observations exists before 1885, although they may have been observed a few decades earlier by Thomas Rami Robinson there in Europe. Noctilucent clouds, NLCs, were first reported by Backhouse in 1885, and another scientist, Jesse, in 1890, from observations made in 1884 through 85 following the huge volcanic eruption of Krakatoa in 1883. If sky watchers want to possibly see Noctilucent clouds, 4 criteria must be met. The sky must be free of ordinary clouds. The region of the atmosphere where they form must be sunlit. This means the sun must be no more than 16 degrees below the horizon. The background sky must be adequately dark enough for the clouds to stand out. They glow. This final requirement means that the sun must be at least 6 degrees below the horizon, what astronomers refer to as end of the civil twilight. Your viewing location should be at a latitude north of 45 degrees, although you will soon see the clouds having been sighted at more southerly latitudes in recent years. Reminds me how the scientists are now saying that we're going to see auroras more frequently for the next 50 years. Things are definitely changing here on Earth. Recently, in Colorado, on May 26th, just last month, photographer Aaron Watson was photographing the Milky Way and captured something extraordinary unfolding in the night sky. He said, "I have seen air glow a lot, but this is rare to see in directly overhead and moving like it was." I wonder about the recent volcanic eruptions, such as the Hunga Tunga Hunga volcanic eruption. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Small-scale volcanic eruptions can influence cloud formation by providing aerosols that act as cloud seeds, though this is more relevant to lower altitude clouds. For NLCs, volcanic dust is one of the possible sources for noctilucent particles alongside micrometeoroids and tropical ferric dust. Even space shuttle exhausts and rocket launches, such as the SpaceX Falcon 9 in 2014, have been linked to individual NLC formations by injecting water vapor in the upper atmosphere. The Colorado photographer captured the image around 3:30 a.m. local time and spanned for about 30 minutes. It revealed wavery green ripples of air glow sweeping across the sky. It was for the most part invisible to the naked eye, he said. Air glow is a natural light emission created when the sunlight interacts with the molecules in the Earth's upper atmosphere, causing them to release energy as a faint glow. There are 3 types of air glow: air glow, day glow, and twilight glow, and night glow, according to the Lancaster University Aurora Watch there in the UK. Air glow and twilight glow are divided into the same processes: sunlight charging atmospheric molecules, but twilight glow becomes briefly visible to the naked eye as daylight fades. These glowing emissions are about 1 billion times fainter than sunlight, which is why they're washed out during the day. The 2022 Hunga Tunga Hunga eruption, a massive underwater volcanic event that occurred on January 15th of 2022, injected approximately 150 teragrams of water vapor into the stratosphere, a significant perturbation detected even 2 years later. This eruption, rated a VEI of 5 and 6, sent a plume up to 58 kilometers or 36 miles, reaching the mesosphere, and was one of the most explosive volcanic events recorded by modern instrumentation. The eruptive water vapor plume, observed by NASA's microwave LIM sounder, increased the water vapor mixing ratio by about 1 parts per MV, parts per million by volume, and that was in the southern hemisphere upper polar mesosphere. Studies in Germany, such as those at the University of Greifswald, investigated whether this additional water vapor influence NLC occurrence during the 2023 and 2024 Southern Hemisphere and the 2024 Northern Hemisphere NLC season. There was a slight increase in NLC frequency from mid-January to February of 2024 in the Southern Hemisphere and could potentially be linked to the eruption's water vapor. I'm all tongue-tied. But they said it was not conclusive. In the Northern Hemisphere, an anonymous warning in the mesophase during 2024 NLC season may have hindered NLC formation, masking any potential effect from the eruption's water vapor. This situation draws parallels to the 1883 Krakatoa eruption, which some argue led to the first recorded NLC sighting 2 years later, due to increased water vapor and possible nucleization nuclei. So just like Krakatoa, the Honga Tonga eruption, NLCs were not recorded until at least 2 years later. The transport of the water vapor was difficult to track because the HTO channel of NASA of the MLS instruments had not been in operation since April 29th of 2024. Even though the current solar maximum would be expected to lower the number of NLCs, there were numerous reports of bright NLC sightings during the first half of the NLC season of last year. To summarize, the aftermath of the Honga Tonga eruption offered new insights into the transport of water vapor into the middle atmosphere and the link between the volcanic eruptions and Noctilucent clouds. Particularly noteworthy is the roughly 2-year lag between the eruption time and the H2O anomaly reaching the polar summer mesosphere. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, all of a sudden, April of last year, the equipment coincidentally stopped working. I don't believe in coincidence. And I think a lot more people have been seeing these cloud formations and not even realizing what they were and the significance of them. Have you seen the night glows recently, or these NLC cloud formations? I have, and I would like to know where you were at and about what time did you observe them. So what are your thoughts? Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, YouTube's been unsubscribing people and not sending out notifications. So I really appreciate your support. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you all.